Hey, what's up fellas? We're back with some more SBC gaming news. As always, I'll have everything timestamped below. We'll go with new hardware first, followed by buyer advice, and then bugs, fixes, and updates, and then user creations. Usually I have a channel spotlight if I can find one, but sometimes I don't. Alright, here's our first item. So this is from your boy Kinda in the Miu Mini subreddit. It's my video. I'm so happy. I don't have a Reddit account because I'm trying to stay off of Reddit in terms of commenting because I can get too into it, right? So I don't have an account, but I read it all the time, and someone posted my content, and that is one of the highest forms of praise you can get on the internet is someone thought your content was cool or helpful enough to either post or link in Reddit. There's only one other piece of content I made that got linked on Reddit, and that was my Cyberpunk 2077 guide for the superhero landing achievement. So I get pingbacks on my blog, and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. This was my guide on using the Miu Mini Plus as a gamepad. It's using a app that Adil Rahman wrote. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. But someone left a comment on one of my other videos saying, hey, can you use the Miu Mini Plus as a controller instead of streaming to it? So I looked it up and I gave them the app, but then I didn't have time to install it and try it out myself. So I tried it out. It works out pretty okay, but it depends on your Miu Mini's Wi-Fi antenna. So sometimes some models have really bad connections. I don't know if it's because of the router that you're using or the way your network is configured, but yeah, it's a really hard time. It seems to be sporadic too in that other people have really fine connections. I have a really crappy one, so I have to put my Miu like literally right next to my router. Not quite, but like maybe 6 feet away. Anyways, that's awesome. I made it, fellas. I'm on Reddit now. Thanks, your boy, kinda. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going on to new hardware. I'm gonna have more news coming out later. I saw a video of the A30 from Miu. It looks pretty okay. I'll have it in the next video. But yeah, we have the OrangePi Prices. It's gonna be around $500 for the 708040U model. That seems pretty nice, but I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna do what Iron Neo does, and that is they're gonna have an introductory price that's about $50 lower, and then after they sell the first, I don't know, 50 units or so, they'll raise the price up by 50 bucks or more. Anyways, this was from Taki Udon, and yeah, that kind of interests me in that, it's kind of nice to see a 708040U handheld at that price level, but we'll see if it actually is that price and if it's worth getting. Obviously I'm not gonna buy it because I don't have the funds, but I'm more interested in the cheaper handhelds. It's good to have more competition though. I love it when there's new hardware. This is kind of old news because, long story short, I had to work on a video for about 2 weeks because I got my data deleted by accident. I did it myself. I was very tired. Yeah, I mentioned that last time, but yeah. So I'm a little behind schedule. But this is from Joey's Retro Handhelds. He runs a YouTube channel as well. There's a new RG35XX coming out in 2024. It's already out now. It has the same chipset as the RG35XX Plus and the RG35XXH. It has a lower capacity battery though, and there's no Wi-Fi and there's no Bluetooth. So it's a little weird. I don't know why they did this because it doesn't make sense to have a model that's almost the same as the Plus, but only marginally cheaper. So like, why wouldn't I just get the Plus or the H at that point? Retro Gamecore has a review out on it if you want to watch it. I think it would have made sense if they priced it lower, like aggressively cheap, because then that would be awesome. But that's not the case. So also, I'm a little disappointed because like I really wanted to get an original RG35XX to write reviews on it and stuff and see what Garlic OS is like. And it was like 12 bucks on TikTok if you had a new account. 12 pounds in the UK. I don't know how much that would translate to here, but I really wanted one and now it's gone. So they only have the 2024 model. I think there is like a niche use case in that some people who work in military complexes or doing or working for military contractors, sometimes you can't have devices that connect to the internet. So this would actually be good because it has no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth antenna. So that would actually fit their use case. So decent hardware, decent specs, decent build quality, no internet. It might actually fit your need, because every once in a while I'll see a post from someone working in military or military contractors saying, hey, I need a device that doesn't have internet. Oh, sorry, that was posted by CV990 in the SBC gaming subreddit. All right, we have sneak peeks at the, I don't know if this is going to be real or not, the Anbernic RG35XXSP. This was posted by dude, I don't know like what, in the Anbernic subreddit. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about that logo. Everyone mentioned it, but Anbernic is releasing a clamshell as well. So we got the Miu Flip, we got the Anbernic RG35XXSP, we have the SD0 whatever it was. So there's a lot of companies releasing prototypes of clamshells because a lot of people want it. I think it's nice in that you can just fold it and put it in your pocket and it'll be protected for the most part. I think that's the main appeal for me. But yeah, I don't know, that logo there lights up. I don't like it. Please get rid of the logo. I don't know why they would do that. Like, it looks hideous. It makes it look more cheap. I don't know why though. That said, I like the lack of analog sticks. I personally don't care because I know there's people who want analog sticks. For me, the reason why I don't want them is it's easier to hold if there are no analog sticks. Sometimes it gets in the way, and a lot of the systems that run on these hardwares don't really need an analog stick. So I think it's just more ergonomic for me. Same thing with the Miu A30. That little analog stick, I think it would have been better if they removed that and placed another speaker there. So we had stereo speakers or nothing, so that I can just rest my hand on it a little bit easier. But yeah. So if you hate analog sticks, you can check this out. We'll see when it comes out, and we'll see if the hinges are reliable. That's always the main concern. Even though like Nintendo has released handhelds for a while now, and the hinge design is not like rocket science, it's still really hard to nail because these companies, I don't know how much they put in their R&D. I feel like they just borrow a design and then use it. But the Pocket Flip also had hinge problems, so we'll see. Okay, now we're moving on to buyer advice. And this is a video released by Taki Udon. This is the Mig Switch Dumper. And what it does is you can put in your legitimate Switch games and it'll do a full dump of the cartridge, including the unique identifying code that identifies that cartridge. And the reason why I brought this up was twofold. Number one, if you have a large physical collection that you want to back up, so you don't have to carry around your entire collection and lose that possibly or get it stolen. This is a possible way to do it. Before, you had to have a hacked Switch to dump the ROMs. Now you can just dump it with this device. The second is buying used games is going to be a little bit more risky in that if someone dumps their game and then returns the game, and then they're playing that dump they made on their Switch, and they have the Switch online, and then you buy that game and then you play online, you can both get banned then. So it's a bit of a concern because this guy, Taki, was saying that he saw people posting on the forum somewhere that people were going to buy this device with the intention of dumping their games and then returning them. So people got to ruin it for other people, but yeah. It's something to keep in mind now, so buying used games is going to be a little bit risky. Okay, we're moving on to bugs, fixes, and updates. Now we have the black screen of death for the Steam Deck. This was posted by No Obligation 1422 on the Steam Deck subreddit. My brain just died there for a second. But essentially, if your Steam Deck has a black screen and nothing is showing on the screen, there's a very simple fix where you just let it die, like completely, and then you charge it, and then you can turn it on again. So most people say the fix is to take the battery out, but I know there are a couple people where they're really scared to take apart their Steam Deck or any handheld. They have butterfingers or they're just not comfortable with doing that. So this is an option. So you can just turn it on, make sure it's on, and then you let it die, and then you just leave it there, and then you charge it, and then you should boot again. So that's a nice fix for someone who doesn't want to take apart the Steam Deck. So the best way to do it is to hold volume down and then press the triple dot button and then press the power button until the power LED starts blinking and the fans kick on. So yeah, thank you for the fix. I think that's really great because there are a lot of people who don't feel comfortable doing any sort of work on their handheld. And I respect that because it's better to be safe than sorry and break an expensive piece of hardware. So if you don't have the know-how or the confidence, it's better not to take apart your handheld, in my opinion. Okay, this one was posted by the real Joe Montana. I doubt he's the real Joe Montana, but he posted this in the Legion Go subreddit. And I thought this was neat. A lot of people who are tech savvy know about this already, but you can use two Bluetooth headphones at the same time. And you're going to do that by using virtual audio cables. So if you stream or use OBS and you want to do stuff like reroute like your Discord audio to be not on your stream and stuff like that, you use virtual audio cable. But yeah, you can use that software, and there's a very easy YouTube guide here explaining it if you want to check it out. And I think it will definitely help some people who want to have two headsets on, especially if you're like sharing the handheld. You know, like you got siblings, you got children who you want them to share the stuff because it's too expensive to buy each one their own console. Then this will be a way to kind of have them share it a little bit easier. Now this is from 10 Minutes Steam Deck Gamer. I think I found it in a post, but I forgot it. It is a very easy guide to reset the sudo password for your Steam Deck. Now I've seen this problem pop up a lot where people are doing something and then they forget their sudo password. It's super user do. That's how you run commands. It's like running things as administrator in Windows, but it's a very simple and easy guide to follow. Only 2 minutes. So if you have a Steam Deck and you forgot your sudo password, you can check this out. Okay, this one is just related to Steam games in general. So this was posted by the Big Oranges on the Steam Deck subreddit. They're playing Fallout 76 and no longer worked, and there's actually occasionally a few posts where they're like, I was playing X game and it no longer works now. And this is the solution here from Unruly Mattress. Verify game files, delete the game's wine prefix in the compat data folder, and then press the clear downloads cache button. I like this because it's so simple and it's in order and it's very concise. And so that guy wrote a really nice answer there. Verifying games does take a little bit, so just keep in mind some of these steps take a little bit of time. Especially on Steam, and the game is huge, it'll take a little bit. So moving on to user creations, I thought this was really neat. This is posted by Eric's Henry in the Miyu Mini subreddit, and I really like this. This is a bumper case and a full case that slides over it. I think this is the neatest solution I saw that protects the device while not taking up too much space. So if you don't know, the Miyu Mini and the Miyu Mini Plus has one fatal flaw, and that is any sort of physical shock tends to break the screen. I mean, like obliterate it. I'm not talking about like reseat the cable. I'm talking about the screen is gone. Okay. So if you have butterfingers, highly recommend getting at least a bumper case. I would get a lanyard too, and don't get the lanyard that plugs into the audio port. 99.99% of the time that's going to be fine because it's held there by friction, and you're like, as long as you're not flinging it, if you just drop it, it's going to stay there. But I don't trust that connection because again, it's based on friction. It's much better to get one that screws in the back. And when you're screwing the screw back in, make sure you don't over tighten it, especially if you have a translucent Miyu Mini, because the plastic seems to be more brittle on the translucent models. And if you over tighten your screws, you'll crack the case or strip it. So just be careful. But yeah, bumper case like that looks pretty neat, and it just slides into it. and I think it's really awesome. They do have the file here if you want to print it out yourself. So thank you very much. I think it's amazing that people make these things and then they just release it for free. I think this kind of scene is built upon getting stuff for free, legally or not. And you know, I think people should be rewarded for their hard work though. So, you know, I don't know if they have an option to buy it or not, but I think this is a really nice build. I think it's really clean. This one was posted by Macho Nacho Productions on his YouTube channel, and this is a very cheap Ethernet adapter for the GameCube. There's an open source version where you can just build it yourself if you want. But I thought this was neat because this lets you play GameCube games online, and apparently there's like a modding scene for creating like multiplayer mods for games on the GameCube. I didn't know it. But yeah, like there's one for Twilight Princess. I think there's private servers for Phantasy Star Online as well. It's wild. Yeah, the GameCube is so old and no one really used the network function. As far as I know, when I played it, when the GameCube was out, no one really used that thing. So yeah, I think that's pretty neat. It's nice because the side version will let you use the Game Boy Advance player on the bottom as well. So this is pretty cheap if you want to buy one. It's pretty affordable. I think it was less than 50 bucks. I think it was like 30 bucks for this model. Yeah, $35. Okay, moving on, we have Mission Success in the Miyu Mini subreddit posting his Game Boy Color grip. So this was the first post where they were prototyping it. And I think this is a very neat idea because what they're doing is they are taking the Game Boy Color shell and then making a backplate that screws onto your Miyu Mini. So if you have a Miyu Mini Plus, you just remove the backplate and replace it, and it makes it a little bit more chunkier. And one thing that I wanted to do was to make a bigger shell for this device, because you know, holding it like this, it's okay. My hands don't cramp because my hands are on the smaller side, but like it's not comfortable. You know, it needs to make contact with the palm. It needs to rest at least on this part. So this guy made it, and then he made another post saying it was finished, and he has a little video here, and he's selling it on Etsy. This is the Etsy page if you want to check it out. It's a little bit pricey, but shipping is included, and yeah, definitely would be interested in trying it out. But yeah, you just screw it on the back there. They have new trigger buttons on it as well. It looks a lot cleaner. The only downside is you can't easily get to the battery compartment, but it wasn't like easy to remove anyways. Okay, before I go, I just want to go over this one nice comment I got. It made my day. It's from Michael Hills 3534. So I just stumbled across your channel. I like it. Great format. Perfect with a cup of coffee subbed. Wow, that's the first time someone said they subscribed because of my SBC Gaming News series. That's something I just make for fun. It's not really what I consider quote-unquote good content. It's just something I do because I read these subreddits every day, multiple times a day, to catch up with handheld news. And it's something I get excited about because I like these handhelds. Yeah, thank you to everyone dropping by too. My YouTube videos have been getting pretty good traction. My blog's been doing very well. My podcast feed has been doing well as well. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support. But yeah, that's gonna be it, fellas. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for dropping by and watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, hope you guys are staying safe and seeing out there. And catch you guys next time.